Bridges are a fantastic exercise for hip health and strengthening when done correctly. I have a separate video on elevated foot glute bridges that walks through a series of adjustments to achieve different pelvis positioning, but here we will focus specifically on using bridges to target the hamstrings. Lie down on the ground with knees bent but legs slightly extended. Place your feet on an elevated surface pointed straight ahead, pelvis width apart. The surface can be a step, 2 yoga blocks, or even 2 stacks of books. Whatever you choose, just make sure your heels are really supported and grounded on it, even if your toes go off the other end. Elevating your feet for bridges helps with more posterior chain recruitment, particularly your proximal hamstrings. You will get more hamstring involvement the farther away your feet are from your body. Take a nice 360 inhale and exhale, engaging your low abs, and then keep some tension in your low abs throughout your bridges. Before you even start to lift up, though, think of pressing your feet down into the floor like you're trying to smush the surface your feet are on. You should feel the hamstrings start to turn on and gradually pull on your pelvis so that your hips start to lift off the floor. If you aren't feeling your hamstrings yet here, think of pulling your feet back toward you and simultaneously pulling your sit bones up to the backs of your knees, which will effectively rotate your pelvis under slightly. As you lift, your glutes will contract some too, but you should really feel your hamstrings engage the whole time. Then let your hips naturally hinge to come back down, lengthening the glutes while maintaining a neutral spine. Keep your pelvis and rib cage stacked and that tension in your low abs as you go up and down. Take note that you're not tucking your pelvis excessively and rolling up through your spine. If you're rolling up off your back, this is working more of your spine than it is a hinge motion through the glutes. As you do a series of bridges, you can rest your arms down on the floor by your sides, or you can raise them straight up in the air, thinking of creating space between your shoulder blades. You can even hold a weight in your hands here if you'd like, and that really gets your serratus on board to help with abs and stabilizing your core. If you'd like, you can add a yoga block or ball between your knees to help decrease deep hip rotator activity and further connect with your pelvic floor. You can also do these bridges with your feet up on the wall rather than a surface, and this looks sort of like the 90-90 hamstrings, which I show in a different video, but you would be achieving even more of a bridge by raising your pelvis higher off of the ground. Another option is to place your feet up on a bench or a chair. There are a few other ways you can do these bridges on a bit more unstable surface, which increases the stability you need to bring through your core and pelvis. The first option is a foam roller. Again, lie on the floor and extend your legs slightly, placing your feet parallel and about pelvis width apart on your foam roller. Because the foam roller will want to roll or slide away if you press forward too much on it, your hamstring activation and the pull back through your feet should keep the foam roller in place enough to do at least a few bridges in a row. If it slowly slides away, that's okay, and you can just reset and finish your set. The last and most unstable option is to use a stability ball or some sort of Bosu ball. Place your heels on the ball and first activate your hamstrings by pressing down into the ball as you think of lifting your sit bones up to the backs of your knees. And then the same cues apply here as having your feet on any other surface, including using your hamstrings to start to lift your pelvis off the ground. And again, keep your ribs and pelvis in line the whole time, and just as with the other bridge options, you may place your arms down by your sides or raise them straight up to the ceiling. If you raise your arms up toward the ceiling, think about pressing up through the serratus and creating space between your shoulder blades. You can also hold a weight in your hands as another progression, and that just encourages more serratus involvement and helps with stabilizing your core that much more.